Hello, welcome to the All or Nothing podcast. Our official sponsors are KR Couriers and Transport Limited. This is a Northwest based courier company delivering all across the UK. They can assist in home moves and removals to large, heavy and bulky items, collections and drop-offs. Fast, safe and reliable deliveries. Please get in touch for a free quote. You'll find all the information within the description. Thank you. Hello everybody and welcome to the All or Nothing podcast with Billy Moore, and today's special guest is Lewis Jones. Lewis,
Cheers for having me on, Bill.
it's a pleasure. Thanks for coming on, mate. I know you're a little bit nervous. It's okay. Just let the camera.
Yeah.
Don't worry about these cameras.
Okay.
They're not there, right?
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. Tell us a little bit about yourself. But before we do, I'll share, what I know with the audience. You're a young lad. You've been through the mill at such a young age. You won a bodybuilding competition. You've been involved in steroid abuse, bodybuilding, boxing. You come from a deprived area in Liverpool. You've suffered a lot of trauma also from a young age. So it's a pleasure to have you on and to listen to your story. So just be yourself and tell us about who you are.
So I'm 23 and I grew up in Speak. Speak's a very rural area. It's out the way. It's kind of a poor area, but it's not really many people have money. And when I was in school, it was just more like, you had the best clothes. You had the, if you're not wearing North Face, you're a loser. Basically, that's just how it always was. And I see these young kids today, and they're doing the kind of the same thing. But it
was all about like the image. You had.
All about the image. It's all about how you look, and it's all about what shoes you've got, and it carries on today. Still, it's not really good. What I mean?
It was all judgment.
All judgments. Yeah.
I mean, my
whole life it was all judgments.
I know from going to school, especially because I went to school in Speak. I'm from Speak originally, and I grew up in up there for a few years, and it was all about like the clubber. Even back then,
That's it.
You won't even know what words I'm talking about. We're talking about Walker trackies, mate, and then it progressed into Lacoste trackies and stuff like that. But yeah, it was, if you didn't have the right clothes, you were judged. So how did you feel? Did you have money back then as a kid?
Well, I grew up with me nan and granddads, and they were working class, didn't have much money at all, minimum wage. So they were kind of under pressure to fund these items for me. Growing up. It's not really, ideal for someone who's 50 odd to, who's basically working class, work a lot of hours, not really
financially secure.
Yeah, financially secure. They're working a lot of hours, don't have much time, for family, and not getting paid, nothing really. So it's there's a lot of pressure on them to fund these things for me, and
How did you end up living with your nan and granddad, by the way?
So when I was 7, my mum died of cancer. So basically, I'll tell you the story what happened. She went to the doctors, and the doctor said, she said to the doctor, I'm developing this cough, I don't know what it is, in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, she found out she had cancer, basically. So she went from the doctors to GP, found out she had cancer straight away, like within the 2 week time frame. And it was literally just that, it just stems from that. And then within 6 months after that, she died, like straight away. Like, so imagine going to the GP with a cough, unknown cough, suspicious cough, and then find out you're gonna die.
And then it's
she was 25 years of age. Passive smoking was the cause of death.
Wow, 25.
25, lad. Yeah.
You were 7 years old.
It's not really ideal.
And you remember,
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, key moments, but you kind of block that out as you get older. Do you know what I mean? It's hard for me to talk about. I can't really get it out, but
look,
you get the idea, don't you?
No, don't worry about it, mate. I understand the feelings that you'll be going through, especially as a 7-year-old child. Watching your mum at 25 develop a cough, go to the doctors, and then 6 months later pass away. And have to, be subjected to everything that's going on. It can be really difficult. So what was how did that impact your life at a young age?
Well, your mother is like your idol, like your
It's your mum, innit?
It's your figure, isn't it? It's like you're growing up. It's like she's there. She's always there for you. And my dad was never there for me. He left me.
So it was just you and your mum at the time?
Yeah, it was just me and my mum. My dad was like, I used to see him every weekend. And basically, he ended up like fucking me off when I was like 13. But before then, it was, she was just there. She was there for me the whole time. Like I was her world, you know what I mean? And basically, she just, that happened unexpectedly. I still remember the day when we gonna come in the bedroom and said, you know, your mother passed, and you know, started crying. And I remember that day, and you just never forget, regardless being 7 years old. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sticks with you. You know,
and I don't know what you mean, mate, because I remember, you know, being probably about the same age as you. You know, my dad coming into the bedroom as well. I was asleep.
Yeah.
While I was lying in bed, and he told me that my nan had passed away. And I don't know, I felt it there and then, you know.
Straight away.
Yeah, I felt it, and you know, it's so yeah. I can imagine, I can understand. So that must have been really difficult for you, mate. Honest.
100%.
You know, I can feel it for you. You know. So
yeah.
going, and your dad wasn't in your life. You know, your mum's passed away, and then you've moved in with your grandparents.
My grandparents helped brought me up. They've basically given me everything that I've ever wanted, materialistic, but obviously that doesn't help anything, you know what I mean? Like they've always tried to give me everything like possible, like the clothes, as I mentioned before, or you know, and it's like, you know, they've done the best for me possibly, and they've made me the man I am today. So you know, I appreciate everything they've ever done for me.
Well, that's nice, and thanks, you know, for showing that gratitude for your family. So, you know, was there no other siblings? Was it just you?
Yeah, I'm the only one. Got no brothers. I've got a half sister, but I don't really know her. It's my dad's side, innit? So I don't know. Still don't speak to my dad to this day. But I've got cousins, you know, loads of cousins and that. But I just like see them, say hello to them. Do you know what I mean? I don't really, you know, get involved much with them.
I can imagine. So going forward in life, you know, school, and how was that for you? And you know, what was that like?
You'll be surprised here, buddy, but in school I did get picked on a bit, you know, like a little bit more than a bit though. Yeah. I was a bit picked on when I was in year 7 till about year 9 when I first joined the school, and Hale Wood I joined, and they were like, it was toxic, and I had to leave. I went to another school called Parklands in Speak. That's shut down now. It's a waste of money what they done with the building, like, because it's just an empty building now, and it's just been an empty building for about 10 years or so.
Is that by the parade?
Yeah, by the parade, yeah. They haven't turned into nothing else, but anyway, where was we? School, yeah.
But we're getting bullies in school.
Yeah, like, not just like kids can be like toxic, like nasty towards each other, and like if you're not, as I say, stems back from if you're not wearing this, or if you're not looking like this, or if, you know, they'll just like.
So growing up, did you always feel different? Did you feel separate?
Yeah, I felt separate from everyone else. Like, I'd be on the field with my mates in school, and they'd be like smoking, and I'd always stand away from them. I'd chill with them, but I'd be standing away from them, doing my own thing, because I didn't like smoke, and obviously, you know why. You just
wanted to fit in.
That's
be a part of something, but you didn't want to participate.
Yeah, participate in the pressure or peer pressure that's
given nowadays. Was you getting a little bit of stick from them to say, you know?
They were, to be honest, they were alright with it, you know. They kind of understood, because once I started going to the gym when I was about 15, they were like, oh yeah, these hench. I weren't hench at all. I was just like...
You probably hench to them.
Yeah, I was hench to them, you know what I mean? But I just lifted a few weights, and all of a sudden I was hench all of a sudden. Like, as far as what they were concerned, I weren't, but they, you know.
So what was your motivation for going to the gym and lifting weights and wanting to become a bodybuilder?
Yeah. So when I was 14, I was on YouTube, and I come across this video. You can see it now. Arnold Schwarzenegger, No Pain, No Gain, 2013. It was called. He's probably changed the name now because I've seen it. And I went, as soon as I seen the video, I was like, yeah, I want to be like that, 100%, no matter what. And just seeing Arnold pose, and just his striations in his arms, and just everything, I was like, wow, how can someone not want to look like that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know,
like
exactly.
A Greek god, just carved out of stone.
No, I know exactly what you mean, because I grew up and I just thought it was impossible to even look like that. And
That's
I just
exactly,
thought, these must be like genetic freaks. And I remember, you know, the same, you know, growing up and speaking, getting weights at an early age. And back then, you know, my mum, like any family, you know, was struggling. And I had these water weights, big blue water weights with an aluminium pole, had a bulwark and a poster Charlie Atlas on the wall. And I didn't even know how to, no guidance. You know, I just looked at these directions on the poster and started doing like triceps and up, press above chest and stuff like that. You know, and I wanted to be like these, but you know.
Yeah. That's it. I mean, like I remember another video I watched around that same time period, and I remember this like yesterday. I seen the universe from like a different country, like Iran, and the lineup of the bodybuilders were there, and every single one of them was in an unbelievable shape. And I was only like 15 at the time. I was looking in the mirror thinking, God, I've got a long way to go. If I'll never look like that. Do you know what I mean? So I was thinking, God.
So you were possessed and you were motivated to.
I was willing to do whatever it took to get there.
So what did you do to get there then? Because you've actually, you know, we're going into, you know, other territory here with steroids. You know, the abuse of them. You know, the impact they had on you at a young age. You know, and you were telling me, you know, before we done this podcast that you wanted to send a message out there to anyone, any young budding bodybuilder who was thought this lifestyle was quite glamorous, about, you know, the detrimental effects it's got on people.
100%.
So tell us a little bit about that then. Tell us what's been going on there.
Don't do it. As I say, like, as a kid growing up, you know, you look at it and you think, yeah, you know what, you know, all this Arnold Schwarzenegger, the movies and whatever, and you're thinking, yeah, I can do that, I can be like him, and the chances of that happening is none, pretty much, because
very slim.
There's no money in it for one. So even if you did get to that, there's no money in it. You can't fund it. You'll have to still work. And on the flip side, it's like the health. There's no health benefits when you get to that level, because you're taking all this juice and you're just strict and depriving yourself all the time. You're putting a lot of stress and toll on your body. It can't really. You know, it's the juice. Like, all these bodybuilders are dropping dead like flies now. Like, especially nowadays, it's getting worse. I think we've reached a point now in bodybuilding where they're literally at its limit with the drugs, because these are dropping dead, like 25 years old, dropping dead, like, of a heart attack. It's not good. You know what I mean?
So when was your first experience with steroids? What happened there?
So before I done steroids, I was about 17, and I was a big kid anyway, before I done it.
Well, you're so tall, you know, you're about 6 something, aren't you?
6'3", 6'2".
6'2",
6'3" with a pair of on clouds on.
You got a pair, you know, and you're physically built, aren't you?
Yeah, physically built. I had the build on me. I didn't always have the build. I was like skinny. Like, I was fat in school and I went tall and skinny, and then I filled out. So I've had all three basically. Yeah. So I started. Where were we up to?
You're age 17, you started your first
17.
experience with steroids.
Yeah, so it took me about 8 months. I was sitting there for about 8 months thinking, do I really want to do this? I know the consequences. And this was 17 years old, sitting there thinking, do I want to do it? Do I want to do it? I thought I knew the consequences. Wait till I tell you what happened to me. And it's unheard of, basically, at the time. But anyway, I was sitting there for about 7 months, 8 months, thinking, do I want to do this? And then the whole time, I was thinking, I've got to do whatever it takes to get there, you know, no matter what. I want to win everything. I want to go in and just smoke everyone in these shows. This is what was in my mind at the time. So then, yeah, I'm going to do it. So then, I first done it, I got on the D-ball, which is tablets, and I looked really good on that, and I won my first show just on D-ball. So,
what was your first show?
The NABBA Northwest teenage.
So you won teenage NABBA Northwest
back in 2017, yeah.
So at the age of what, 17?
17, yeah.
Yeah, so you've that must have been a challenge to get to that stage. You know what I mean? Dieting, you know, because you don't just do the steroids. You do all the dieting with it, you know. But you're on these D-ball, you're on a strict diet. Yeah. You know, tell us a little bit about that.
So the diet is, it's hard, put it that way. Your carbs are like 20 grams a day, and by the end of it, you're just like a walking zombie. You just can't concentrate. You can't do nothing. You get very emotional. I feel like the gear makes you more emotional as well. Like the trend or whatever. Like it makes you very. I remember like when I was about 17, when I was about 18, and when I was on it, my nan would like say something, and I'd get all emotional and get all upset that my nan's like saying something, or anything would make you emotional,
very sensitive,
or angry, or it heightens any emotion. People say, when people say you're on the juice, it makes you angry. I got that as well, but it also makes you emotional, so sensitive as well. That's you won't find that written anywhere. That's just my experience with it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
So you felt really sensitive, and you couldn't cope with your feelings. They're all over the place. You're on these deer ball. You're trying to be the best at the
exactly
in your shows and stuff like that. So you were on deer ball, and where did that lead on to?
Yeah. So we ended up doing the NABBA Northwest. Done that. And then the following year, I was going to do the Britain, and I fucked that up with the carbs. Like, I just had too many carbs I didn't cut down enough for that. I lost that. I'll take that on my own accord. And I done that same year, the next year, in 2018. And then I come 4th out of 6, which I could have done better. Could have got 3rd.
Yeah.
Top 3 easy. But I fucked that up again with the vitamins. So there's a lot to it.
It's very scientific by the sounds of it,
yeah,
isn't
it is scientific, and it was
Dropping
too much
loads of
for me
water.
to handle. It was too much for me to handle because there was a lot of factors. You had to fight like many battles on one front, on many fronts. You know what I mean? So I was struggling like majorly with it, and I was thinking there was some times where I was sitting there thinking, "Oh, this ain't for me." But I got in some good shape with it. It's very mentally challenging. Like anyone knows it is. Do you know what I mean?
You must have been in a position where you're looking in the mirror and going, wow, we're looking really well. But then looking in the mirror, right, put a little bit of beef on, 10 bobs worth of beef and going, I look like a fat cunt here.
That's
you know what I mean? So your mental well-being is all over the gaff, you know. You're trying to remain in that, trying to keep that physique stripped constantly is a battle on its own, isn't it? You know, and any bit of water, a bit of weight, can send you a little bit skew with. So was that where you were going with things?
Yeah. You notice the little things. So like of a morning, you'd wake up and you'd be like, oh yeah, I'm in shape of a morning. But soon as you eat, it's like you put like water weight on food throughout the day, and you don't look as good, and you're like, I look my best in the morning and all that.
So don't
it's like, it gets to your head major, then you're like, do you know what I mean? It's just all these things is too much, and it becomes, that's why people say bodybuilders are self-obsessed, and you are, but you have to be, because to be the best you have to be self-obsessed. Like there's just no two ways about it. But relating back to the steroids, I started juicing when I was 17, so that's a very young age. Like it's no age to be doing that. Like
you're not even giving yourself a chance to live, are you? To be a young man and enjoy.
Yeah, I was never really into that.
No,
I was never really into that until I was about 20. But and even then, that didn't last long. I was only like going out. Like I used to go out and drink. If I'm doing it, I'm doing it to the max. Like at the time, and I drink rapidly when I was about 20. But as I say, that's a recipe for disaster in itself. Being on all that juice, drinking rapidly, it's just no good. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of toll on the body. Yeah.
So where did you go? What other like steroids did you get involved with?
I've been on pretty much everything. I've been on clenbuterol. That's a fat stripper. That got me in good shape. Helps with your fitness. That also.
That's for asthma. Clenbuterol. You know, it's an asthma.
Yeah.
Asthmatic
I've
drug.
heard it does that. I only knew it as far as bodybuilding goes, but I know.
See, I've done all my research on Clen and Anavar, test. Because at one point in, not so long ago, I was thinking about, going down that path of using a little bit of juice to enhance my physique. And, Anavar, people would suggest an Anavar, which is sort of a mild steroid, and then clenbuterol to strip you. And then it would have went on, have a little bit 2 ml test or something, 1 ml test a week. And I was like, mate, I'll be smoking fucking heroin by the end of the month, you know what I mean? I would, because It's for me. It's like one's too many and 1,000 is never enough. I'm not
That's
messing about. You know what I mean?
That's
And I even actually went out and purchased bought these
yeah.
tablets. You know, the Clen and the NABBA. I've got them there. I've got boxes of them. I think, okay, this will last me. This cycle will last me so long. You know, so I've done my research. I got on YouTube. I looked up everything. I'm thinking, yeah. And then I was looking at the pros and cons. Yeah, the pros and cons of your steroids, and it was like, you know, with the Clen, you might get the shakes, and you know, your mental health might go a little bit. And I was thinking, fuck, I can't be arsed with that. I've got enough going on with my mental health. I don't want to be adding to it, you know. And then the NABBA, it was the same. You know, it's not as bad, but you'll need it more, and then you'll see a difference, and then you'll want something else. And then is that where you went? So you went from the Clen, the test and all that.
So I don't know all, like, so in the 2017 first show when I was only on D-ball, you don't really do D-ball for the show at all because that's more of a bulking drug. But it was alright for me. I was in shape still. I was on D-ball and Clen, but I was only 17, don't forget. So
recovery's quick,
yeah. It's better when I was 17. You know, just getting into it basically, but I was still in good nick.
Didn't you have anyone in the background saying to you it's not a good idea to be taking this, you know?
Yeah, but I was ignorant, and at that age you are ignorant, and you know you don't learn until it's too late, and it's like I'm willing to do whatever it takes, like whatever it takes.
So have you got people who are like sort of suggesting you to take this and guiding you, you know, or giving you misinformation, and then you've got people saying it's not a good idea. Yeah. So you're in two camps.
I kind of, but it was all my decision. Like I take full
your choices.
responsibility.
So you made the choices.
Yeah, I made the choice, regardless of what age it was.
Yeah.
Like no one pressured me into it. I wanted to do bodybuilding myself, so I knew what it took, and everyone who died doing it knows what it takes because it takes that much.
Yeah, well, it's a life. You know, you're putting your life at risk as well.
Yeah,
definitely, mate. You know, and that's where the fear I had. You know, because you know, everything, all your organs start to enlarge.
Exactly, that's on the growth hormone. That's a whole kettle of fish. That, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure there's a few people out there in Liverpool who are smashing the growth at the moment and are doing a lot of damage to their own health. You know, and shaved a good few years off their life. You know, and I'm thinking to myself, you know, at a young age, 17, you've experiencing these steroids. Did you get addicted to them?
You know what? Yeah, but not in the way where like you need your next fix, so to speak. Not in that way, but in a way where, right, I'm off the gear. You see your strength go down a bit. Oh, my strength's went. I've been off for 4 weeks now. My strength's down. Because I used to love training like heavy all the time. That was my thing, like training heavy bench, heavy squats, heavy whatever. And it was literally, you see your strength reduce. So then you're like, I need to get back on it quick. So the most, within the 3-year time period I was bodybuilding, I was literally saying I had like 4 weeks off, maybe 8 weeks at most.
And your income, where are you getting the income? Because it's not cheap, is it?
Yeah.
You know, you've got.
Well, at that age, like I went to job centre, I was working in B&M, I've done all sorts. I've worked everywhere basically.
So every bit of money, you know, was funding your steroids use.
That's
you know, plus not only that, you're paying for your diet. You've got to get your chicken. You've got to get your rice.
Well, my nan was very supportive, and she helped me with that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
You had a lot of support in the background.
They kind of they knew I was on it, but they didn't really question it because they knew what I wanted. They were very understanding, which is very rare, but...
So how far did you take bodybuilding and steroids till it became...
I took it till almost my grave. So, I'll tell you what happened, and it's weird
Be
to
honest.
talk about. Yeah, okay, so... I had a decision at one point when I was 19, I was at my biggest. Like, I went from doing that last show to losing, coming 4th out of 6, to saying, right, I'm going to do the next show. I'm going to take 2 years off and bulk and get some size on me because that's what I needed. So that's what I done, and I got like massive within 4 months off the juice and strong and all that straight away. And then basically I had a choice: should I come off and have a break or do more? And I remember this like yesterday. Yeah. So then I ended up taking more. Right, say I'm gonna get bigger because I want to win this show. Biggest mistake of my life, let me tell you. my dad had that underlying acne condition, so he was never on the gear, but he used to have bad acne on his back, like naturally. So I remember that, and he used to have his my nan, his mum, rub like baby oil on it because it was that bad. So then, by me doing all that gear, took the acne inheritance we'll have from him out, and basically it left me with scars down here, like it just come overnight. I thought he had the plague, lad. It was bad.
It's just overnight.
Was within skin infections can spread like wildfire, lad. Like in like 4 days.
Wow.
So within like 2 weeks, I had like this crusty like black thing. I went from looking in the mirror all the time from being a bodybuilder to not looking in the mirror ever again because I hated myself. I hated how I look. It left a scar. I was crying in hospital. I'd never cried, lad. Like, but I was in hospital, 19, crying my eyes out to the doctor saying I want to die, like, because it was that bad. Like, I knew my bodybuilding dream was over. I had nowhere to go. From that point. It was just unbelievable. Acne fulminans, it's called. You don't want to Google it, but steroids can cause that. Only about like 200 people have had it, but
it's because of the oils.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I can't, but I know what it was in a nutshell. Doing too much gear. That's what it is. But you know,
it took you to suicidal thoughts.
Yeah, so, like it went because I couldn't do it anymore, and I was so set on being a bodybuilder. Like that's all I ever wanted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, your dreams.
That's it.
Crashing all around you, innit? You know, you want to be a bodybuilder. You know, and next thing you're sitting in, you know, doctor's surgery, sobbing your heart out, and you've got all these acne scars all over you.
Yeah. At 19 as well.
And you know, you've probably affected your confidence, and you're feeling hideous about yourself and horrible at the same time. You know, so was what happened there? Was there a choice then? Was you thinking, you know?
Yeah. This is where I turned my life around for the good.
Go on, tell us.
So I was in hospital. I had nowhere to go. Like I was lost. So then I was thinking, what am I gonna do? I can't do bodybuilding no more. Like I'm scarred to fuck. Like there's no way I can do it. Like it's just an insult. Like I can't show my body like that, and I knew I couldn't. So then I swerved bodybuilding, obviously, because it was no good. And then I ended up doing boxing, and boxing for me saved my life, lad. Like as a lifestyle, as a sport, as a hobby, like it saved my life, lad. Like you know what
club
I mean?
did you do? Do you want a club and speak?
Yeah, Gemini. I joined Gemini. You're very familiar with Gemini, aren't you?
Yeah. As a kid, that was my go-to club. Trained there for years.
Yeah, John Rice, boss coach. Yeah.
John.
Sound. Yeah.
It was John Naylor and Paul King back when I was young. I mean, you probably won't know these, but John had a son, George, and young John. You know, then you've got all the Wallies that were there. You know, so it was a great place to go to in Austin Rawlins Bats.
Yeah.
You know, I used to love it. I used to go there, and it was like a sanctuary for me, and it saved my life, because I don't know where I would have ended up, especially like yourself living in Speak. You know, all the troubles that go on there. Even back then, you know, there was armed robberies, there was people getting slashed. You know, I remember a few incidents, you know, and you must have been out. What was it that, you know, why didn't you feel like the temptation to go down that path? You know, because if you're in school and you want the designer clothes, and you haven't got the money to buy them, financially, you know, was temptation on offer? Was people saying, look, there's a little bit of a graft here? Did you look at the lads who you went to school with, or the lads on your estate or around Speak, and go, they're fucking flying, them. Look at the whips they're driving. You know, look at the clobber they've got on. Was that ever like, I might go down that path?
I was never into drugs, recreational drugs, like growing up. So I was never really into that. So my circle was like, I was more like a self-preservated individual. You know what I mean? Growing up, and I still am to this day. Like I do my own thing in a way. Like obviously I talk to people and that, but it's like you
wanted the lucky ones, you know, Lewis. Honest, you are, because you know, a lot of people succumb to that kind of lifestyle because they're skint, or because, you know, they want to impress a bird, or
that's it. It's like it's all for show, and you know, when they're wearing these like Gucci clothes or whatever, and they're literally standing in a club, and you know the skins, they're literally like, I see people Like, this is
looking boss, but
look on boss
getting
with
the
the
bus
shin
home.
lad, yeah. That's it. The look on boss lad, and it's like they've got one drink all night because that's all they can afford. But they've got the Valentinos on. They've got everything on, lad. You know what I mean? It's
And
like,
you've seen that. I see it all the time. Fucking lads, you know, I'm gonna get the fucking bus in me Montclairs and me Valens.
I know, yeah. I said, lad, you're in your valleys and that, and you're on the bus, lad. What are you doing? Do you know what I mean? But it happens, doesn't it? Like, people are like that. People would rather look good rather than be financially like better.
That's because people feel insecure about their image and about you know, they think the outside stuff will make them feel better. And I've done it myself, you know. Thought if I throw a nice bit of grip on, I'll look the part, I'll feel better about myself, and you probably do briefly, you know. And it doesn't last because it's always an internal job. It's an inside job. You know, you've got to take care of what's going on in here, what's going on up here. You know, for me, you know, that took a long time to realise that. You know, I was always looking for things outside of me. I had this hole which was like a massive vacuum that I needed to fill. And it's like yourself and filling it with like, I tried steroids when I was in Thailand. Took a course of Sussendecker. Yeah, went to the gym. She and this Thai bodybuilder. I was training. He approached me. I was I was smoking a lot of crystal meth as well. So my weight had dropped. It plummeted. You know, I looked like an anorexic panzer. I could hang glides off a fucking Dorito. I was that skinny, right? And he was like, yo, do you want to buy a course here? And it was cheap.
Yeah, it would have
and
been.
It was a couple of jabs once a week. I went there. I had no idea how to train, right? I was just a jail lad. I just trained like you do in jail. Circuits,
old school
compound weights, old school, heavy chest, heavy squats, heavy deadlifts. That was all I knew. I didn't know like how to kind of like the triceps and biceps and calves and obliques and you know, traps and your delts and just go down that road. I didn't. So I didn't train. I didn't eat. I had no diet plan. Just 40 chicken, rice, and loads of other shit, sausage rolls. You know, you'd be alright. And he ended up like looking fucking really fucking cut up, but fucking round the bend. You know what I mean? I didn't bulk at all because I wasn't eating the right food. But yeah, I understand, you know, all that.
Yeah. What it is the best way to train, I believe, is the old school way. Heavy squats, heavy deadlifts, as you said before. Even though like bodybuilders do train smart and that is a good way, but for me back then it was always the basics first and then the rest followed. That's the best way to train. Like I still train now. I don't really lift weights, but I do boxing training. That's my type of training that I do. Fitness, cardio. I'm into that more than I was with weights now. I feel like that's better. I'd rather be lean and ripped than massive and bulky. Do you know what I mean? It's not really a good look, and it's dying out, that look now.
Yeah, you look like a caveman. It's just you know, it's that stereotypical steadhead. You see it, don't you? Because you know when someone's on the juice, they've got the they've got that the shoulders, the round.
Or the straps are like out here or whatever, like
full of water.
Or they're holding 2 TVs.
There's nothing called, you know, there's something called mature muscle, which is, you know, years and years of training, and it's solid, it's tight, you know.
When getting older as well,
When you throw, and when you throw a bit of let's see, I'm getting older, so I've got the mature stuff going on here. You know what I mean? You know, so what gyms did you feel comfortable going to? You know, like old school gyms, was it?
Yeah. Old school gyms, for me, it was more like cold and hard and depressed environment. When you on a diet and you go into an old school gym, it's like, I belong here. But when you're on a diet and going to, for me anyway, when you go into a diet and going to a Beverly Hills gym, it's like, you know, I can't be asked talking to everyone, you know what I mean? Because they don't understand. They're just there, and then they're going and they're just doing whatever. And I'm there trying to win a show or trying to do this. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, in the old school gyms, they know that.
There's a day few and far between now. Them gyms in Liverpool, Andy, Vic's gym, Darren's gym. There's a few gyms that are still going. You know, not many.
Yeah, I go to a gym, ProFlex gym. It's old school. I always go there. Boxing gym, weights gym, bodybuilding gym.
So where's ProFlex?
It's in Garston. It's quality gym. You like quality, Feel right alone there,
That's how you train?
That's what I train like,
And you do your boxing on top of that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. So now you made that lifestyle choice, that decision to, you know, to stop using steroids. Do you think you'd ever go back to them?
Absolutely not. And if I could advise any kid growing up, stay away from that. Like, passionately stay away from it. Like, literally, it's just not worth it. Like, I didn't even think that could happen to me. Like, I went from looking in the mirror every day to not looking in the mirror again. And it's kind of like healed up now, and it looks not as bad as what it used to. Thankfully, it could have been worse. It could have been all over my neck, or well, it was on my neck, but it could have been all over my face. You know, this acne condition. So yeah, you just don't know what's going to happen with that gear. So stay away from it. It's not worth it. Just go to the gym, lift weights, and you can still get big. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just swerve it, lad. You're like, don't do it.
No, I totally agree with you, mate. It's like, you know, unless you're competing, and because a lot
You're
of
old
kids,
enough as well.
look, to be fair, a lot of kids in town are just fucking taking them.
That's it.
You know, they're bouncing around just to look good, to impress.
In town, look good in town,
Yeah.
innit? Bit of arms in town, that's it.
Yeah, let's fucking do biceps on a Friday night. Take
Yeah.
take a bit of chest,
Yeah.
and then just look bosh. You know, I see it all the time, and it's not a lifestyle. It's just an image. It's just an image thing. You know, you're looking the part, but the fact is, you know, it'll ruin your fucking life. You know, I believe so. So, you know, you've gone through all that phase, and you know, thanks for sharing that, because it sounds like it's had a detrimental effect on your mental health.
It's been a bit of a roller coaster for me these past few years. But
Did you think you were getting out of it? Did you think you were ever going to get?
when I was laying on that hospital bed, and my skin was ripped off my chest, and I had no way out. I didn't think I was gonna have a way out until I found boxing. Lad. That's why I say boxing. Everyone should do it, like some sort of fitness, because like the gym. I've been in the gym my whole life, lad. Like,
And you never boxed before, no? Was you
no?
just
I've sparred. I've done all sorts, but I just haven't boxed. Like, you know, I'm having a bit of a break at the moment. I'm injured, but after that, you know, I plan to, you know, do something, because it's my passion, innit? But I'm doing it as a hobby. Like,
You're still a young man, so you still got an opportunity to, you know. Have you had any amateur fights yet?
No amateurs, no.
So is this what you?
I've sparred, like, but no.
So you're looking? Would you look like going down that road as like starting to
Yeah, definitely.
have a few bouts?
Yeah,
And,
I like the amateur style, like on your toes, fast, rapid, explosive, just everything. You know
You'd be an heavyweight as well, wouldn't you?
Well, I'd get down. I wouldn't want to be heavyweight, like, because they're like fucking 6'8" or something.
You'd be bangers.
Yeah, you know what I mean? 6'8", like arms like the Eiffel Tower, lad. You know what I mean? There's just no chance.
Yeah.
I have to do a little Mike Tyson to get under, but.
There was a kid years ago, and John Rice will probably remember him, mate. He looked like fucking Dolph Lundgren. I think he imaged himself on Dolph. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't even remember where he was from, mate. He was like an half a Scouser. Know what I mean? But he wasn't a full blown Mickey. But and he was a big kid. Know what I mean? But he was slow.
Yeah.
I was slugger, but
Yeah.
I always remember him because he had this fucking shock, like Johnny Bravo haircut. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, fucking hell, the kid who's going to get in the ring with you's got to be just as big.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that 91 over, it's literally big kids, like 6'8", 6 foot. Like, I'm 6'3", I'm a midget compared to them, Johnny.
Yeah.
So it'd be more like.
You know what's the name now, aren't you? You're a doorman now.
Yeah.
Right, so tell us a little bit about the tour wars. Tell us a little bit about the fights you've been involved in, because I know, you know, at a young age, you know, we've got an air of arrogance.
Yeah.
You know, and it's we're tested all day long.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? You know, how do you deal with the volatile situations? You know, because it's a different ball game from being on the doors back in the day. It was a different team of lads. You know, now you've got Nation Security. They run Merseyside.
Yeah, quality company, by the way. Yeah, quality.
They look after you. So, tell us a little bit about like your life. What attracted you or drove you to become a drummer?
Right. So basically, I was a fibre optic engineer for BT. So the fibre internet broadband and all that.
Yeah.
And I used to blow it to the house, you know, and splice it and do whatever. And basically, it weren't really for me, because you're self-employed. The money's good if the jobs are there, but the jobs weren't going in. You get 20 quid if the jobs ain't going in, and then you get taxed 20%, but you get your tax back if you're self-employed. You know what I mean? Every year. So, that's the benefits. You get a good chunk of money every year, but it's not really for me, because sometimes the jobs weren't going in. You're going on with like 40 quid, and you're getting taxed on that, and you know you're not getting much. You know what I mean? So I thought, I can't do this anymore. I'm self-employed. I don't like it. I'm just gonna ask the doll to put me on a course for my badge, just randomly, like.
What is it? CSCS one?
SIA card.
SIA card, yeah.
So SIA badge even, and I jumped on it and jumped to it. Done the course, passed it, and then just asked a mate of mine from the gym to get me on the doors, basically, and he got me on, and you know, ever since then I was a steward. I was on before that as a steward, and then I got my badge, and then I got on the doors, and then I've seen some sites, lad.
Tell us about a few of them sites, maybe, because I mean, town is like the Wild West at the moment, isn't it? Liverpool,
it's like the Walking Dead out there, lad.
Yeah, Liverpool at the moment is just, it's like there's a lot of troubles going on, and you know, and it stems as well from the city centre, because you see a lot of young kids, you know, young girls, you know, there's been murders in there recently.
There is, yeah.
You know, so what's it like for you as a young man, you know, witnessing that and being subjected to it, because you must have been involved in threats and fights.
I've had toe-to-toe fights. I've had everything. I've had people trying to like steal it on you. I've had.
But steal it on you when you're on the door, just like throwing like, a blind shot at you.
They'll just like swing, but the bladder, like, so nine times out of 10, like it's nothing. You don't fight, but it depends where you are. If you're bang on in the square, which I was for 6 months,
Concert Square,
it's fucking you're fighting all the time, lad. Do you know what I mean? And it's not your fault.
There's that many people packed in. It's like a cattle market, isn't it? There's that many people packed into Concert Square.
Yeah.
I fear walking through there overnight.
Yeah.
You know, even passing through, because everyone's buried, and the fact that you're a straight goer, I just keep my head down, walk along, because you know you get a lot of people who react to you.
I hate it now, lad. Like I hate that environment. Like literally, like I'm on a chill bar now. It's literally chilled. Like I love it there. Yeah. It's not unlike what it was on the square. But I'm one of them. Like if I see someone in trouble, I'll go there and help straight away. You know what I mean? And we all help each other. We all have each other's back. That's what's good. You know what I mean? There's power in numbers. So if you're all together, then you can get the job done better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, Roman obviously get a bad name, don't he? He's being bullies. Do you ever, you know, what's your thoughts on that? Because I'm to my experience going back years ago, I've had a few irons from bouncers, and probably because I have to take responsibility. But there was one time in I can't even remember where it was now. It was the fucking wasn't the quad fellows. It wasn't that either. Anyway, it was the one in Aintree. Can't remember. Someone will probably make it in the comments. It just fucking fell out of my head. But I was in there and I just looked at a doorman. I must have been about 22, young kid. I was with a few friends and our kid. Looked at a doorman. He's looked at me. Next thing, fucking pseudo have come at me. I'm fucking getting choked out. I was fucking woke up outside in the back. You know what I mean? I'm fucking fuming. You know, there's been a few times where I've been thrown out of clubs because of other people's problems, and I've ended up fighting with doorman. I've been arrested by the police and you know, charged, and I've had a doorman go to court and, you know, fucking get in the box and point the finger and say, you know, I threw a dig at him. You know, there's so what's it? You know, and I've got to, like you say, I've got to be. I was a bit of a tearaway, a bit of a fucking nightmare, to be honest. So I've got to understand my behaviour. Yeah,
but to be honest, before I was a doorlad, I was a bit of a nightmare as well. Like I used to think I didn't know the script, so like a doorlad would say something to you, you say something back, nothing else gets said. But I before I was a doorlad, I used to think, oh yeah, he's flapping it, but he's not. He's doing his job. His job's not to fight. His job's like to diffuse the situation.
Yeah.
So that's what I try and do now, like diffuse the situation no matter what. Like there's no point in fighting. You know, if you're there to fight, you're there for the wrong reason. Like you obviously when it comes to it, it's going off. But other than that, just don't cause it yourself. But as far as door lads go, like they're not bullies. I don't like. You've got to be a certain way.
But there is a few, isn't he? Come on, let's have a right.
Yeah, well,
because you do see them videos flying about where they're going a bit too far.
I seen a video once, some guy...
Of Matthew Street getting booted everywhere.
Oh yeah, that's not good. Some guy kicked an old man in the stomach. That's like, what, you shouldn't have done that, lad. Come on.
Yeah, that video went round. I did see that, Lewis, and I thought, you know what?
You kicked an old man, lad. Like, you
he was just trying
you
to,
know what I mean?
he was trying to break something up.
Yeah. And he just kicked an old, like, I've seen another one. It's not viral, but this guy, and he threw 50 punches at some students. He's literally like that. And he's just throwing 50 punches in his stomach and his shoulder everywhere.
So there's no need for that, is he's going too far there.
I'm like 50 punches. It's like, you know. And then he ended up getting kicked off his bar and that. But it's like, lad, fuck, you know.
I've seen a saying, like, you know, to be honest, I've seen a Roman get it stolen on him as well on one of them vids. A mate of ours, give Carl a big shout out there, alright, Carl. Seen a little vid there from someone, you know, who's took a dig on the doors, just being knocked flat out. And then you've got another doorman, right, who's just shit his undies, right, he didn't join in and help out. And I believe if that's how you operate, then you get just swerved.
That's it. You get turned over. If you show weakness, you get turned over straight away. Like, you never show weakness. Like, you know, if it's not for you, if you've got to have that in you, the doors ain't for everyone. Do you know what I mean? So,
if you're in that job, right, seriously, if you're in that job, right, and you've got a mate who's just being knocked out or being attacked, and you're standing there going, oh, stop it. You're not where the carrots are, you? You've got to fucking get in there. You know, it's about, like, supporting each other. You know, all right, we diffuse situations. We try and kind of, like, calm the situation.
If ever seeing that, the kid would get leveled, because there's just no way you can allow that to happen. You work as a team, like, so you gotta put trust in each other. And thankfully, I work with, like, good lads. Do you know what I mean? But there's people out there that work with people you don't even know. Yeah, but you've definitely got to have each other's back. There's just no way about it.
And you know what? You're up against it, to be honest. As you know, a security drumman, you know, you're up against it, especially in town, the likes of, like, Concert Square, Matthew Street. Yeah. You know, you've got the other places down by St. John's, Ruby's, and, you know, there's a lot of people getting pissed, and, you know, there's a lot of angry people out there as well. I've
had it where we've been inside a bar and it's kicked off outside. We went back in. They've closed. We've shut the bar for a bit because it's shut. We got everyone else, and we just have a little drink and Diet Coke. They were waiting for us, and then the
little firm.
Yeah, the little firm, like 4 lads from London, and we thinking who's going out, and I was like, I'll go out. A few other lads. Two
think your ego took you out the door?
Yeah, no, it's not. Two other lads come out with us because it's like we've got to get out sometime. Lad, they're waiting for us, innit? So then we ended up having it with them, lad. Yeah, and we done them in and that, and then the next day I didn't even see them go in the bar. They've come out the bar, in the same bar, like just they've come out.
Maybe nothing happened,
and they didn't have a mark on them. They were saying sorry, and he was so aggressive before. It's like drugs and alcohol, what it does to you, it's not personal on them doors. I'm telling you the truth. Exactly. It's not personal. That's what you need to realise. It's like he's come out saying sorry about that, and I'm like, lad, you were ratty before yesterday. You were like, and I'm like, what? Stay away. I thought he would have went sorry, lad, and just stealing on me. Yeah. But
so it does. It changes a person's you know, mentality, doesn't it? It changes a person's behaviour. It changes them into something else. You know, that's why I don't drink. I couldn't fucking drink. Yeah. I couldn't go out, and, you know, last orders was never for me. You know, I partied till, you know, there was nothing left, or I was in jail. That's how it was, you know. So I could never go out and enjoy a night out because it was very, I don't know, alcohol fucking fueled the aggression. It brought up all the trauma that I suffered from a kid. You know, and I took it out on the biggest person there. I wouldn't be fighting with fucking anyone. I'd go for the Zorban.
That's it.
I'd go because I know I'd get a fucking scrap out of them.
Yeah.
Simple as.
That's
90% of the time I'd get fucking battered. You know what I mean? And that's the truth. So yeah, it is. It's there's a different, you know, when you wake up and you go, oh, fuck, I'm sorry about that, mate. You can't believe, you know, that's the way they behaved the night before.
I know, like this. I'm telling you now, yeah. Like, I've never seen nothing like it. This kid was ratty. He was definitely looking for it. The next day he's come out. I didn't even see him go in. Yeah, I must have like went to the toilet or something, and then the door lad let him in. But when he's come out, he's like, "Oh, sorry about that," and I'm like, we're just from London. We just want to have a good time, and I'm thinking, lad, this is unbelievable. Like, just looking at him, like,
The change.
wow.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's the drugs and alcohol, lad, is like that's what it's about. Do you know what I mean?
And especially when you're around it and you're working and
Yeah.
you're working on the doors.
That's it.
So you've gone from bodybuilding to boxing, to working on the door. So you're in that world. You're surrounded by people who are physically active.
Yeah.
So what are your plans going forward in life? What was your life? What are your hopes and dreams?
I just want to enjoy it, lad, and literally, have no regrets. Like, literally, I know people say that, but I just want to have a good time and literally, get my feet wet in boxing somehow after this injury that I've got, and go from there. Like, literally, just have a good time, be fit, healthy, and live a long life. Where before I was more like, I just want to be massive. I don't care about living long. Yeah. Now I just want to have a healthy life and be healthy, lad. You know what I mean?
What was your mum's name, Lewis?
Michelle Jones.
Yeah. So we'll make this podcast in memory of her, because it was quite sad to hear. I didn't know how young your mum was. Yeah. 25. I remember my mum at 25, and I must have been about 7. Because my mum had me at an early age, and it sounds like she had me when she was 18.
Yeah, that's what my mum had me at that age as well.
Yeah, so I would have been about 7 when obviously when she was 25, and I remember we were in Speak and we were walking by St. Christopher's Church, and I was so fucking proud to be your son, though, and I was holding her hand, and she was crying at the time, and my dad, he was very volatile and fucking violent, and I looked up and I said to him, I'll never be like my dad, Mum, know what I mean? Yeah. And she said, I know, because you're a good boy. But it kind of changed as the years went on. I didn't want to be an alcoholic or a fucking bevier like him. But I went down a path of fucking drugs, and I destroyed my life, and I destroyed her sanity, and robbed the serenity from her eyes and the peace of mind, over the years. And now, I give a little bit of a soul back, and I'm just thinking about your mum, and just thinking,
she always wanted to see me when I was 18. Like, my nana always used to say, your mum wants to see you when you're 18 and that. And she went as far to, my mother went as far to write me letters and give to my nan to show me when I was 18. I ended up seeing them when I was about 13 because I asked for them. My granddad did mention it to me, and she basically just spoke to me, and she basically told me about what my dad was like, and the way she found out she was pregnant. She told me dad, and my dad was literally saying, get rid of her, you slag, basically, to my own mum. And that hurt me, and I confronted him about it. And basically, my granddad told me he tried to kill me. Basically, he tried to kick my mum when he was pregnant, when she was pregnant with. And I was like, after I found that, I confronted him on Facebook, and then he texted me back saying, I told him, like, why did you do that? You're a rat and that. And he said, me and you can never talk again. Full stop. And then he's blocked me. Never seen him since. Did that
hurt you?
Yeah.
Because I feel it now. It hurt me. I mean,
yes, yeah.
Your dad's your hero, isn't he?
Yeah, well,
he's supposed to be.
My granddad's me hero. Like that, I see him as a father figure. My dad was just someone who literally just, you know what I mean? After finding that out, it's not easy. It doesn't settle well, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, he's got to go through life with his conscience and his consequences around that, hasn't he? So that's for him to deal with, not for us or for you or anyone else, But we're coming to the end of this podcast. I've really enjoyed talking about the effects of steroids and your bodybuilding career and now your boxing and your young life as a whole. So what would you say, and I think I know what you're going to say, what would you say to a young Lewis Jones coming through the doors of life now? Have you had that wisdom? You seen a little Lewis there fucking bouncing in the gym or wanting to get on with life full of beans? What would you say? What advice, what guidance would you give him? A little bit of wisdom.
Well, I'd say if you stay healthy, health is wealth. Health comes first before anything. Anyone offered me X amount of money, I'd say no. I'd always pick health. That's the number one thing. Like, I'd say to him, because before I didn't realise that, and now I do. Like, health's so important. Whether it's, you know, as long as you got your 2 arms and 2 legs, and you know you've got your health, your organs intact, you're flying. Like, you don't need all this money or whatever. That there's opportunities for that, but you can't with it. You can't change health. Yeah. And Steve Jobs said that. So what's that tell you? Yeah. But as I say, it's a lot. It's really important to have that.
Brilliant. And I'll put all your socials in the description. So if anyone wants to have a chat with you about anything really, so you might get a DM. I don't know. But with that, it's been a pleasure to have you on. And thanks, Lewis. Appreciate it, mate.
Look after yourself. Nice one.